All right, what is up? What is up, Sarah? Finally getting this Motivational Monday started. So, if you guys are listening, watching this on any of the podcast networks, if you guys don't listen to this on the podcast network, definitely start listening to it. So, on your way to work, taking the dog out, doing whatever you got to do to listen to this stuff. So, Sarah, I'm just going to be blunt with this with everybody. She's down 65 pounds. She wanted to lose 80 pounds in 1 year. She still has almost 2.5 months left. 15 pounds away. She's crushing it. She's a nurse. And we all know in the healthcare world, a lot of nurses in the healthcare industry are overweight. They don't have time to get in that quick, easy meal. They don't have time to get in all of the nutrient-dense foods, which is crazy. They work in hospitals and they preach it to the patients. Eat healthy. So, Sarah, seriously, welcome to the Q&A. I kind of just blatantly said what's going on here, but who are you and what do you do?
Like you said, I'm a nurse. I started out my nursing career in long-term care, so I spent a lot of time there, but now I work in the NICU, so way other end of the spectrum. So I've seen all kinds of things, so that's kind of cool. But for sure, healthcare workers don't have time. We work 12-hour shifts. We work 3 days a week, and now it's like we work way more because there's so much work to do.
No, I get it. You can literally say whatever. I'm not worried about it. If we get kicked,
Yeah.
we get kicked. With this world we live in now, we say one word, all of a sudden, cancel culture.
Yeah.
I saw you hesitate. I was like, you're fine. Just say whatever. All the snowflakes melt. They don't ever stick around this long. But let's jump into it. So let's start with before you went to school. Like, were you overweight? Because as we look at these before and after pictures, they're freaking amazing. So were you overweight before you started going to school?
No. Before I went to school, probably about 6 years ago, I weighed 130 pounds. And it was never a thing for me. I was never in high school going, oh, am I the skinny girl or am I, it was never a thing. I never thought about it. And I didn't even know I was fat until I was that overweight, because it just wasn't a thing that I even thought about. And I don't know, I started school, like, I actually used to smoke too. And so I quit smoking. I started nursing school. It was kind of all at the same time. And so unknowingly, I just kind of replaced it, I think, with eating. And, like when you're bored, you eat. And when I don't know. Yeah. So I just started eating more. And it's way easier when you're doing school, especially nursing school. You're sitting at the table with a book. You have 10 assignments to get done in 1 week, 3 tests on Friday. It's so much easier to sit here and read my book and eat a bag of chips. I'm not going to get up and cook a meal. I'm not going to get up and make something, meal prep, like I didn't have time.
No, absolutely. I get that. So, all right. So you weighed 130 in high school. You just said, like, you don't even notice. That's the thing. A lot of people don't notice that they're putting on weight. And usually there's one point in time in life and there's that one point, and sometimes it's a photo. Sometimes it's you looking in the mirror or putting on that pair of pants that are your favorite pair. You're like, why aren't these fitting anymore? When was the breaking point or the realization of, holy cow, I need to make a change?
So it's weird the way it works because all of a sudden, you don't get in the photos anymore. You're the one taking the photos. I got to a point where I wasn't trying on clothes. I was just buying bigger clothes, and I wasn't going to the dressing room to try them on because I didn't want to do that. And you don't really notice that it's because you're getting bigger. You just don't do it anymore. And then so I had a doctor's appointment. I had another one this July, so it was last July, and the doctor is also overweight, and it didn't matter to me. I was just doing a checkup thing, whatever. And she's like kind of laughing it off that my cholesterol levels were high. And she's like, I get it though. I like cake. Ha ha ha. And for some reason that night I was like, why is my doctor laughing about me being unhealthy? I'm like, what? I'm like, this is not good. And I knew I had to change something.
That's crazy. Like, that's the problem with this day and age now. Like, everyone's so afraid of being politically correct. And they're like, oh, I don't want to offend anybody. So, like, that's astonishing to me that your doctor's like, haha, you have high cholesterol. And How old are you?
27.
27. Ha, you have high cholesterol at 27. It's fine. I like cake too. What?
Yeah.
That's insane to me. So that was your point to when you're like, all right, I need to start making a change.
Yes. Um, and yeah, it's just crazy because you don't even think about it. People don't tell you. People don't tell you, hey, you're getting a little thick, you're gaining a little weight. People don't say that. But then, when I started losing weight, then everybody had something to say. And it's like, you could have told me I was getting fat. Because it's not like I didn't know, but it's not as obvious as it is now how big I really was.
That's crazy to me. I didn't know that. You never said that to me. So like there's always like one thing in everybody's story that sticks with me. That's crazy. That's
Yeah.
insane. And I don't know if, because I asked the other night on the live, I was like, what makes it for you guys to stick around and keep watching the live Q&As and stuff? Everyone's like, because you're blunt about it. So
Yeah.
that's just crazy to me. Like as a doctor, they're like, you have high cholesterol, it's fine. Like what? What do you mean it's fine? It's not
Yeah.
fine. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
crazy.
It was like right after the holiday, right after Christmas, like days after. I was scrolling through TikTok, probably with my bag of chips, and I seen you. Your face pops up, but you can scroll or you can click, and I was like, "Ooh, hey!" And I clicked, and I was like, "Oh God, he's talking about weight." I was like, "I don't want to listen to this." And then I heard you say, somebody said, "Were you ever overweight?" And you're like, no, I was never overweight. And then you started talking about, I just was little and I wanted to build muscle. I was like, oh yeah, another skinny guy that was never fat. And I just, I just scrolled by. I was like, goodbye. And then it was like a couple days later and I seen you again. And I was like, okay, now what is he talking about? And I clicked on you again and it was like, why do you keep popping up on me on my For You page? Like, and you said something about you have to eat to live, not live to eat. And so just that made me start listening to the rest. And so then I started seeing the comments that, like people were getting results. And it was because of you. It was because they were listening to you and doing what you said. And so that's why I stuck around. And the more you stick around, the more you learn. And when you're going live twice a day, like everybody, all my friends and family, they know that you're my guy. Like, I'm like, my guy's live, be quiet. I swear to God, at work, everything, it's crazy. But seriously, I do, because even now I watch every chance I get because I still learn things and it helps me stay with it too, because I get on the live and people are like, Sarah, how are you doing? How's your results? I don't want to get on there and go, oh, guys, I gained 10 pounds.
Absolutely. That's what I love about doing these motivational Mondays. Now you are out there. Now your story's out. People are seeing your progress. People have seen what you've done in 6-8 months. Now you can't go backwards.
Right.
You can't. Because people are like, where's Sarah? How is she doing? You just can't. And like, that's one thing that I love too. Like, it's not a scare tactic. It's more of a little bit more motivation for you. Like, all these people are watching my story and you're going to get outreach from this. All the nurses out there, they're going to be like, what? She's a nurse and she dropped 65 pounds in 8 months? That's crazy. They're going to reach out to you. They're going to ask you, what are you doing? What have you been doing? Like, why is this working? And that's why I love doing this motivational Monday. But that's why I do this, because of people like you who have not been doing different things and have tried everything and aren't getting results, and then they start to change, and just seeing them completely change as a person. Like, every time you send me your before and after pictures, your smile changes. Your smile changes. You're
Yep.
happier. You are way more confident, I would say, than when you first started watching me.
Absolutely.
And that's what I love about it. That's what's so crazy with weight loss and nutrition and just changing your body image, the self-confidence, and of course the health. So have you gone back to the doctor and gotten your numbers back?
Yeah. And so I was there in July. And so that was what, 6 months in. And it was the same doctor. It was great. And she's like, holy crap. She's like, you're down 50 pounds. Like, what are you doing? What is going on? It was like, I swear to God, they weighed me 3 times.
Are you serious?
I swear to God, because they couldn't believe it. And I'm like, yeah, it's not going to change. And they're like, there's no way that I'm like, yeah, I did. And the doctor came in and like she didn't want to talk about anything else. She was like, well, you look awesome. And I told her, I go, well, just wait till next time. And she goes, you know, she's like, if you just stay where you're at, you're fine. I'm like, no, 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 no. Like, you don't understand. I'm not done.
You think I'm fine now, girl? Just
Yeah.
you wait.
Yeah. They're
That's
so about that BMI scale too. And it's just crazy to me. And you don't even realize it, how insane that scale is until it's you or until you're seeing other people and you're like, how is that person obese? Come on.
yeah. I'm obese. I'm 190. I'm
It's
5'6".
crazy.
I'm supposed to weigh 130. It's the absolute most ridiculous thing ever. So I really want to dig into this and get your opinion on it. You're in the front lines. You're with nurses. You were gaining weight, living in the health world, telling people how to get healthy. Like, hey, you guys need to do this. You have high cholesterol. You need to do that. You need to eat healthy. But I really want to dig deep into the health world and ask and let everybody else know, why is it that nurses gain weight being a nurse?
Yeah, it is crazy. And it's crazy to think about. Even when I was during my journey, I think about it, you know, how am I going to sit here and tell somebody you shouldn't be doing this or shouldn't be doing that? And I go home and do it. It doesn't make sense. But with nursing school, that was the really big thing for me is like, you don't have time. You're hitting the books 24 hours a day. And it's so accelerated, some of the programs. And so you don't have time. I know the majority of people gain weight during school, during nursing school, especially because you just don't have time. That was the big thing for me, on top of I quit smoking right when I started school too. So that was a big thing too.
So what do you think it is with nurses being like in the realm at work? What is it that's making it so hard for them to stay healthy and to keep the fat off the body?
I really don't know. I mean, other than I do sit a lot at work, the computer, the charting, and it is easier. Like if I have 3 patients, I'm watching screens, I'm going in and checking on them every hour. I'm sitting at the computer. So if I didn't bring something to eat or if I didn't have something prepared, I'm going to go to the vending machine that's around the corner that has nothing good for you in it. So maybe it's a convenience thing. Maybe, I don't know.
Let's go about it with this way then. How do you what did you change now of getting amazing results while at work than you did before you were losing all of this weight?
So for me, I would bring things that aren't healthy to work to eat. But then I would eat lunch, and like an hour later, one of my friends would call and be like, hey, I'm going to go to McDonald's. Do you want anything? Yeah, I want something. Even though I just say, even though I'm not hungry, sure, yeah, I want something. And then, of course, you got the Starbucks sugary drinks. That's what we like. We like the stuff with sugar. And I mean, a can of pop, you know, like if you when you start to think about it, you start to like when you're in a grocery store, you're looking at people's carts. There's not a whole lot of people that don't have the Cheetos and the pop and the
And I'm
candy.
judging all
And
day.
there's just,
Keep going.
yeah. And you don't even realize that until you're the one not doing it. And you're like, God, what is wrong with you, lady? Like, that's why you look like that. That's terrible that I have to think like that, but I do because it used to be me.
It's crazy, and like that's what I do. I love doing it. It's so sad, but like I look at people's grocery carts before I look at them, and then all of a sudden I look at their 8-year-old kid that's 200 pounds, and you got goldfish cereal, not a single thing of raw veggie or a raw meat in a package. It's
Yeah.
always something frozen dinners. And then you always got the diet sodas sitting on the freaking rack. I don't know why everybody does that now. Like, it's like trendy to put your diet soda on the cart. But it's just so crazy. But do you think, that's maybe where I was going with it, do you think that the hospitals make it harder for nurses and the healthcare workers to eat healthy while at work?
So the other night I ended up in the cafeteria. I work night shift. So most of the time the cafeteria is closed and they just have this little quick self-checkout, but that's what it is. It's chips, it's candy, it's cookies, there's nothing good. Even the frozen dinners that are supposed to be healthy, they're full of sugar. They have like orange chicken frozen. Do you even know how? I'm like, that was more carbs than I ate all week. And I'm
Yeah.
not buying that. I'm pretty sure
Yeah.
I got 2 string cheese, and I was good. I was like, yeah, I'll be
That's just always the interesting thing to me. Like, and then like, I just remember my mom doing her knee surgery and the food they would bring in, like what's on the menu. I'm like, this is full of garbage. This is supposed to be a hospital helping people get healthy. Like, you're feeding them all these carbs and sugars. They always had freaking juice on their plate too.
yeah. And so
Always
I
juice.
I work with the babies, and so the other day, I'm like, you just make these observations. When you start changing the way you eat, you just make observations. And I went into one room, and this mom is eating the biggest piece of breakfast pizza I've ever seen in my life. And then I went into the other room, and the biggest donut I've ever seen in my life with a pound of frosting on it. And I'm like, oh my goodness, like, you guys don't need this, like, and they probably don't even think about it. And that's another thing that I see a lot now, because people use pregnancy as a reason to eat more, or as a reason as to why they're fat. Oh, I had 3 kids and that's why I'm fat.
Yep.
That's not a thing. That's not an excuse, because you don't have to gain all that weight when you're pregnant
No.
or after. And I never had a
It's like
baby.
your last trimester. Don't you only need like 300 or 400 more calories? I
Yeah.
remember reading that at school.
Like the whole pregnancy, you don't even have to add more than like 500 calories.
And it's like your last trimester.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so it shouldn't affect you that much. I mean, I get it. It's an excuse to eat what you want. Fine. But then you use it for years after a baby's born. Oh, well, I had kids, so that's why I'm overweight.
Yep. Exactly. There's so many moms out there who have rockin' bodies having 3 kids. And people are like, oh, you're so lucky. No, they're not lucky. They just don't eat garbage.
Yeah. Well, you see these TikTok people, and they're like lifting weights, and they're 6 months pregnant. I'm like, okay. I'm like, I don't think I would do that, but
That's hilarious. Yeah, it's the interesting thing with me. So what did you do? What have you where am I going with this? What was the biggest change? What was the biggest wake up call? So did you start trying to lose weight before you found me on TikTok?
yeah, a couple times, yeah. And
So a couple times. What were you
I
doing? And why was it not
um
working? I'll answer why it's not working, but what were you doing?
I would try to change my diet. That never lasted long. And then, you try to convince yourself, well, I can just keep eating the way I'm eating if I exercise. And
Yes.
so I would have like this day where I'd be like, all right, I'm going to start exercising. And I would work out real hard and then be sore the next day and the next day and the next day. I'm like, I'm never doing that again. Like, I'm not doing that. But Facebook's kind of cool now that you can, most of the time, the memories that come up are kind of cool, because you'll look, and I get memories from like 2 years ago, and it's like, oh, that was the day I went on that walk. Just imagine where I would be now if I stuck to what I thought I was going to do then. So that to me is like crazy. And so still now I'm like, where am I going to be from day one in a year? So yeah,
Yeah,
that's
your before and afters, they're freaking awesome. That's why I harp on it so much. Who cares about the weight? So, what were you when you were did you change your nutrition at all when you first started trying to lose weight? And you said you started and stopped, started and stopped. Like, did you change nutrition? What were you doing? What were you doing then to get
well,
the
the
like
the
thinking it was
1200
going to work?
calorie thing was never really a thing for me. I just was like, okay, if I cut something out, it's going to be better than doing nothing. And so, crazy fact, I used to drink literally a gallon of Mountain Dew every day. Yeah, I'm not exaggerating. I would take that much to work, and I would drink it every day. Insane. And at the time, I didn't think about what the heck it was going to do to me or how unhealthy it was. Like, even though I didn't stop to eat lunch because I was too worried about going out and having a smoke break at the time, I was still drinking a gallon of Mountain Dew a day. And so just cutting out pop, which is where I started, and I started drinking water. I started drinking Gatorade Zero. It even just that made a huge difference. I think a lot of
Absolutely.
time people start thinking about everything at once. Oh, I have to change this, 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 and this. And then it's overwhelming. And that's too much at once. So just, I think if you think about it in one piece at a time and just slowly ease into it, I think that helps people sometimes too.
No, yeah, absolutely. People always ask me, like, how should I do this? I'm like, jump right into it. Just go cold turkey. Everyone's like, what? We'll just do it. It's fine. So doing all of that. So what did you change then once you started listening to me on TikTok and got over the fact that I was just some skinny guy, never was overweight, never had to deal with what other people deal with? What did you change that I talked about where you saw the biggest amount of difference?
I started eating different. I quit eating all the junk. We have a snack closet. And when I say closet, I'm not exaggerating. It's a full closet of junk. My sister, she weighs 105 pounds and she literally eats chips for every meal. But she can get away with it right now. So
Yeah,
I'm
my
like, someday
metabolism
I'll catch
stress
up
hasn't
with
hit her
you.
yet.
Like, yeah. So that was a big thing, like staying away from it when other people are doing it. And even right now, like I trained with two different nurses for my new job. The first nurse, it's kind of funny. We worked 12-hour shifts. She didn't eat all day. Like she wasn't even hungry. And I'm like, it's like 3 a.m. I'm like, I'm gonna go eat. Like I'm kind of hungry. And she's like, oh yeah, you can go eat. And she wouldn't eat. And then I started training with the other nurse and she had to have a snack like every hour. She's like, I need a Butterfinger. Goes to get a snack. I'm like, okay, you guys are so different. It's not even funny. But it's hard when you're sitting next to somebody that's doing all these, eating all these things that you want to stay away from. And the girl's not overweight by any means. So, I mean, do what you want. But for me, sitting over here going, I don't want to eat that stuff. I don't want to think about eating that stuff. It makes it a little bit harder. And then especially if you have somebody in the same house eating things and making meals that you don't want, it makes it a little bit harder.
Yeah, that one's super tough. Like having the willpower not to eat the garbage, especially when you're trying to get that fat off the body and everything like that. That's definitely a tough one. I can get that for sure. Were you tracking calories before, or you track calories now, or did you go up? Did you go up in calories?
Um, no,
You
because
didn't.
I was eating so much, like without even
Then
thinking
you
about
go
it.
out and
Like
out and that's like three
if
thousand
somebody
calories.
offers to
But
bring me something, yes, I'm not hungry, but I want some. Like so I was probably eating way more. And so whenever I did the calculator, it was 2,000 calories, which was crazy to me because of the things you hear. But at the same time, I was like, but with meat and veggies, like you can't go wrong with that, right? And so I started doing that, and it makes a big difference to like when you think about doing it versus when you actually see the results. And that's why on your lives, it's like people will come in and be like, you're nuts. Okay, he's nuts. Try it. And then tell me he's nuts. And people won't do it because they just think you're crazy. Like, what do you
yep.
mean eat 2,000 calories? I can't eat 2,000 calories and lose weight.
Yep. I hear it all the time. It's like Lindsay. She was eating 1,200. She went up to 22. Now she's on 50 pounds in 5 months. It's
Yeah, Lindsay
crazy.
looks amazing. Yeah.
Yeah, Lindsay's before and afters are freaking awesome
And she's
too.
not even working out. That is just insane.
Everyone says to eat, work out, eat less. That's how you do it. Well, she ate more and she doesn't work out. She's got phenomenal results. Uh, yes. So, all right. So, cut out Dr. Pepper. That's my thing is Dr. Pepper. So, I understand the soda thing. I don't know about a gallon, but that's a
Yeah.
lot.
Yeah.
So were you working out too before, or did you just
No.
start working out?
No, there was like one day, actually, the picture that I just shared on Facebook the other day, I went on a walk with one of my friends. She didn't tell me at the time it was going to be a 7-mile walk. So in that picture, I was like, okay, like I'm ready to be done. This is not. And it was like every time that I decided I'm going to work out, I did it for a day or even maybe two, and then I was done. I checked out. I was like, nope. And so this time I just like, I'm not going to quit.
What was your why? What drove you to keep doing this, to keep eating right, not to give up this time, not to not go to the gym because you were sore? What was your why?
I have a lot of whys. Um,
Let's hear 'em all.
the doctor thing was a thing that like really affected me, and it was my goal to the next time I go to the doctor, they will be amazed, and my labs, my tests, everything is going to be where it needs to be, because it's not funny. It's not funny that I was 26 at the time and my cholesterol was out of the world. Like, that shouldn't be a thing. I don't want to die early, and that, I mean, that makes a difference too. Being in the nursing world, we get to see that. We don't just talk about what could happen, we actually see it. And so it's just crazy to me. Okay, Sarah, you're seeing these people that come in and they're so unhealthy, and they're on, they have clogged arteries, this person's in for a heart attack, that person's in for, and then not changing what I was doing, even though I was seeing that.
Yeah, seeing it firsthand, that would definitely, that's what's super shocking to me with people in the doctors that are overweight. Like, you're literally telling this person, you better change the way you're eating. Sir, you're wearing a 42-inch waist right now.
Yes.
You're going to tell me I need to change my diet? So, like, it's always super interesting to me of what people's whys are, of why they want to lose weight, why they want to get results and everything like that. And what's super crazy to me is your whys for being in your 20s aren't the whys that you would think somebody would want to lose weight. Like, a lot of people, it's always, I want to look better, I want to be more confident. Like, I'm sure those are there, obviously, but like,
Yeah.
you didn't say that. It was health. Like, super interesting to me. Like, it's always interesting to me to figure out what people's whys are. So you had that determination, like that 1 year mark with that doctor. You're like, I'm gonna come back and freaking shock everybody here. And that's what's freaking awesome about it. And I think it's just crazy to me. We're not going to say it happened, but who knows? The doctor probably gained more weight since the year you saw them last, which
Yeah.
is crazy to me. But it's insane. So how much are you down now, and how much time?
65 pounds. I'm gonna go with 8 months, because honestly, the month of September, I was I got very relaxed. I didn't gain any weight, but I didn't lose any weight, and I was just kind of doing whatever I wanted. And I'm back on track, and I'm gonna stay there. But yeah, September was kind of crazy. I switched jobs, and then I was working both jobs, and yeah.
Hey,
So
but
it
you
was just
jumped
a
on
little
track,
busy.
so that's
Yep,
good.
life happens, and so you just got to get back to it.
Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. What goes through your head when you go back and look at these before and after photos?
It's crazy to me. It's crazy to me that I got that unhealthy, and when it's you, like, you stop looking in the mirror, you stop trying on clothes, you stop being in photos. And I even think about that now. There was vacations that we've been on. We went to Ohio for Christmas. And I'm not in any of the pictures, because I don't want to be in the pictures, because I don't want to look at myself. And that's crazy to me. Like, we went on this vacation and I don't even have a picture of myself because I look that bad. I don't want that. I want to go on vacation and have 10 pictures of myself.
Like, hey, you didn't take a photo. Take another one. We're buying a new palm tree. We need this one in the shot.
Yes.
So have you noticed yourself with the confidence change?
Yeah, I think so. Obviously, it makes a difference. I'm way more up to go and buy new clothes, mostly because I have to, but I also want to.
Do you have you found yourself have you done anything and you're like, I would have never done that
Um,
because of the weight loss and the confidence?
I don't think so. Not really. Nothing too crazy. I mean, I did switch my job, and I've been making changes like slowly for a few years. Like, I quit smoking. I started nursing school. I did all that. Like, I just want to be a better person, period. So I'm always coming up with another way to do it. And so I started the weight loss thing, and I've almost been doing that for a year. And then I'm like, okay, I need a career change. I need to learn things. I want to learn new things. I want to keep going. I guess just more ambition, maybe.
Love it, lady. I love it, love it. What would you say to all those nurses out there who are struggling with weight loss?
Just start. You just got to start. That's the hardest part. Somebody told me a few years ago, you're going to do it when you're ready to do it. And he couldn't have been more right, because unless you're ready to do it, it's not going to happen.
What would you tell them to do if they make up the excuse that they don't have time to eat because their schedule's so busy that they got like 20 patients?
You got to make the time. You got to make yourself a priority. That's so important. That's the thing. It's like, yes, you're running around taking care of 3 kids. You have a job. You have a this, you have a that. You have to worry about you too. You can't just forget about yourself.
Love it. I love it. I love it. Favorite flavor True Meal?
Vanilla cream.
Vanilla cream. How do you make vanilla
forever.
cream? Are you just making it with water?
With iced coffee.
Iced coffee. Do you bring? So when do you take True Meal then?
In the morning, first thing.
So you don't even take it to work with you?
Well, I used to, when I worked at the nursing home, I worked 16-hour shifts, and so that was my breakfast. Yes, I know.
How do you even have time? What, 16 hours?
Yeah, but then I only worked 2 days a week. I worked every Thursday, and I worked every other weekend, and I was full time.
Those 2 days would feel like a week.
Yes. But then I had like 5 days off.
Yeah, I guess. It's like a firefighter, 2 on, like 5 off, I think was what they do. I don't know. That's crazy.
Nurses are all about the long shifts, because the less we have to be at work, the better.
I get it. So at the gym, how many days a week are you working out?
At least 3. I can usually make it about 3. Now I work the hospital 3 days a week, and so usually I'll make it to the gym on the last day because I don't have to go home and go to bed. But with 12-hour shifts, you're limited on sleep, and I love sleep. So I come home, I shower, I go to bed, and then I go do it again the next day. So at least 3 days a week, usually 4 or 5 though.
Oh my gosh, that's good. That's good. Are you doing cardio too? So you said something on the live today what you now love doing, which is funny.
Yes. It took me a long time to even attempt the stair climber because I was a little intimidated. I was like, I don't even like to carry the laundry upstairs. Like, I am not going to willingly do that. And I was like, and I'm not messing with none of the girls that do that because they're badass. So,
right. Whenever you see one on Stairmaster, you're like, you're scaring me.
Yes. But I did get on, and I actually do love it. It is awesome because it keeps your heart rate up, and I'm like dripping sweat. I don't drip sweat that often. It's not a thing I do. And so I got off the Stairmaster, and I was sweating. It was like I was sweating more when I got off than when I was even on. And I was like, okay.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I do really like it. I was all about the treadmill for a while, and so I was like, all right, I need something different, and so I do usually do some type of cardio before I do weights, and then I do weights and go home.
Nice. So with all the nurses, what you said to do to start, I love that. What has been the outreach to you? Because I know you're posting your before and afters. Your outreach is amazing. What kind of feedback have you been getting from other people?
People love it, and it's crazy because I'll see somebody from 2 years ago that I haven't seen in 2 years, and they're like, holy crap, somebody that I don't have on Facebook, somebody that I don't talk to every day, because those people aren't going to notice as much as the people that don't see you every day. And so, but even when I post on Facebook and stuff, like I said, I get at least 3 or 4 messages. Hey, what are you doing? How are you doing that?
That's freaking awesome. I love it. When was the point when you're like, oh my gosh, is this actually working?
It didn't take long. So I went from like 125, you lose a couple pounds and you're like, okay. And then it was like, I got to 200 and I was like, I'm going to be under 200 pounds. I was like, that's awesome. And so then it was like, I'm going to keep going and see where I can end up. And so that was kind of the time where I was like, wouldn't it be crazy if I was like 80 pounds down in a year? Wouldn't that be nuts? And here I am, 65 pounds down in 8 months. And I'm like, I'm going to do it.
That's awesome. I love it. I love it. I love it, girl. Any last words you would tell anyone who is skeptical on this not working and thinking that they've tried everything and they can't lose weight?
Just to keep going. Don't give up. Don't quit. Don't go back to the same things. There's a couple things that I do that really help me, especially right in the beginning. I would write down what I ate, and it really helped me because I'm a little bit OCD, and so I have to write down everything. And so I knew if I ate something bad, I would have to write it down. And I don't want to face the bad thing I did, so I just don't do it. And so that really helped me. And then my phone, my wallpaper, since I started, has always been a progress picture. Like
Really?
the ones that I send you, yeah. And I change them as I lose more weight. I change it and I use the before and I use an after. And
Oh my
so
gosh,
obviously,
that's awesome.
yeah, we probably open our phone 500 times a day. And I have to look at that picture. And so it helps me to remember, make good decisions.
Oh my gosh, I love that. That's awesome. I didn't know that. You never told me that. That's super. That is having a why, ladies and gents. If you guys are listening to this or watching this, that is a why. The reminder every single day, shoot, every 5 seconds we pick up our phone. The reminder of why you're doing this, why you're trying to eat the way you want to. The reminder of the results you are getting. So don't eat that piece of cake to hit your calories. Sarah, that's awesome. I love it. I love it. I love it. You don't understand how many people you're going to impact with this with this Motivational Monday. It's why I love doing this, guys. If you guys need to reach out to her, I'm sure Sarah will be happy to, as long
Yep.
as she's not working, saving lives within her 16-hour shifts. Yikes. Or at the gym. Reach out to her, guys. I'm sure she'll easily answer some questions for you guys. Her social media accounts, if you want to drop them, you can drop them right now. So let everybody know where they can reach out to you on Instagram or Facebook or on TikTokers.
Yeah, I'm not even sure what my names are on there.
Don't worry
So
about
we
it.
can
I'll
probably
tag
just
them.
share
Don't
it
worry
later.
about
That's
it.
fine.
Sarah, seriously, I cannot appreciate it enough for you being on here. Finally, I know I've been dragging my feet. But shoot, the longer we waited, the better results you got. Like we were
For
talking
sure. Yeah.
about doing this 2 months ago.
Yes.
Um, but you guys smash that SHARE button. Let everybody know where they can find this. Share this out. Let those nurses know, your friends, your family members, that you can absolutely get results. Stop making excuses that you don't have time. They got 20 patients. Sarah's down 65 pounds in 8 months, ladies and gents, and she's a nurse working 16-hour shifts. Jiminy crickets. I can't remember last time I worked 5 hours. But on that note, guys, smash the share button. Seriously, Sarah, appreciate you a ton being on here. Have an amazing night, and remember that why.
Thanks.